Hello students, welcome to the first lecture of your course Power Plant Engineering. In this lecture, you will get to know about the concept of power plant, why it is needed, and what are the sources of power plant, sources of energy that is used in power plant. So, as you know, the power plant is an assembly of a system or sub system to generate electricity, and with economy and as per the requirements. So electricity, which is the form of energy that is easy to produce, easy to transport, easy to use and to control. So it is the heart of electricity, is the electric power is considered as the heart of any industry. So mostly electric consumption per capita is the index of a living standards. By taking the electric consumption per capita, we can get to know the living standard of that country. Therefore, it is required to produce electricity in large scale and to produce also economically. And for that, we are taking use of these power producing units like power plants. Therefore, the main aspects of power plant is that we have to design the power plant such that we have to locate the proper, we have to select the proper location, then the appropriate equipments such that maximum output can be achieved. So whatever the power is generated from the power plant must be cost effective, reliable and fairly uninterrupted. That is, the power plant itself must be very useful economically, environment friendly to the society. So most of the power plant consists of a prime mover, which is coupled to an alternator to produce electric power. The prime mover, which converts different form of energy into mechanical energy, and the alternator, which is the generator, which converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy. And depending upon this energy, whatever the source we are getting, mostly these are the common power plants that we have seen. One is the thermal power plants, hydraulic power plants, diesel power plants, nuclear power plants. And now we're going to see the sources of energy, and on the basis of that also we classified the power plants. One is non-conventional power plant, which is where sources of energy are from the non-conventional energy sources, which is also termed as a non-renewable energy sources. The other form of sources of energy is the non-conventional, that is the renewable sources of energy. First we look at the conventional sources of energy. So those are the sources of energy which is taken from the sources that are available on the earth in limited quantity, and it exhaustible with as the time progress. And that's why it is non-renewable, because it cannot be regenerated within a short span of time. Example of this like coal, timber, petroleum, natural gas, fossil fuels. So non-renewable sources are not environmental friendly and can have serious effect on our health. So these are some of the conventional sources like fossil fuel energy, nuclear energy, hydro energy, fossil fuel energy. So all we know what is the fossil fuel. So most of the fossil fuel like coal, petroleum, natural gas are from in the deep in the earth crust. Similarly, we have nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is obtained by fission of nuclear material. So uranium is fairly common element in earth crust. Then we have hydro energy. It is energy possessed by water. The potential energy of the water stored in a reservoir high river is converted then into high kinetic energy by passing through the turbine to the result to produce the mechanical energy. So these are because all are non-renewable energy, because it got exhausted with time. So however, there is some advantages associated with this non-renewable energy, because those are very cheap and easy to use, and it can easily fill up the car tank and power to motor vehicle. It can use small amount of nuclear energy to produce large amount of power, and it has no competition at all. Like, it is very cheap. Already I have mentioned this point, from converting from one type of energy also to the another. Obviously there is some disadvantages associated with the non-renewable energy. It's expired, it's cost exhaustible in someday. So, and we also endorse our resources to create more renewable sources of energy, and it has a serious environmental effect. and they release, whatever the sources, they release toxic gases in the air, which is the major concern for global warming and pollution. And the prices will be going to increase as they are depleting with time. And so these are some of the non-conventional sources of energy. See here, the non-conventional sources of energy, which is not traditional way of reducing electricity, which is not traditional power plant. So they use renewable sources, so renewable which can be renewed in time. They are find in abundant. So these are far most and the cleanest sources of energy available on the planet, and they are being continuously produced, and they are not exhaustible. So these are the wood, geothermal energy, wind energy, tidal energy, nuclear fission, coal gas, biomass, solar energy, all are the renewable sources of energy. So obviously there are some advantages because they are abundant quantity and free to use. We are using our limited and bound to export, as I have already mentioned. Non-renewable sources are about to export, and besides they have a low impact on environment. They have low carbon emissions. They were considered green and environmental friendly. Besides, it's help in stimulating the economy and creating job opportunities. In both the cases, both the cases it is right for renewable as well as non-renewable. And these are some of the advantages associated with the renewable sources of energy. Our disadvantages is like that it is not easy to set up a plant as initial costs are quite steep, and solar energy cannot be used during the night. A geothermal energy which can be used generally has side effects. It can break toxic chemical beneath the earth surface on the top and can create environmental changes. The hydroelectric provide the pure form of energy, but building dam across the river, which is quite expensive, can affect natural flow and affect wildlife. To use wind energy, you have to rely on strong winds, therefore you have to choose suitable site to operate them. They can affect bird population as they are quite high. So there are some advantages, some disadvantages associated with both sources of energy. So we have to go for the optimized one to create a less polluted, to get a less polluted as well as economical power production.